everybody, this is Teresa from Phoenix Gate Crafts. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving and that everything went well. This post is going to be about the holiday season and specifically getting gifts ready that you are making yourself for the people that you want to give gifts to. So it's kind of a joke these days because of how early so many stores are getting Christmas stuff into the stores. I mean, I was seeing it before Halloween this year, and I don't think I've ever seen so many stores have so much stuff before Halloween. But it got me thinking because I was already thinking about Christmas gifts that I'm making for people back in July. So I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you, but if you're just now starting to think about making gifts for your friends and loved ones, you're a little bit late. However, in terms of buying gifts, you're right on time. But this video has two purposes. One is to talk about things that you can do starting from now for this year and when to start planning for Christmas next year. So this year, there's only about 4 weeks left until Christmas. And unless you're lucky enough to be able to knit or crochet all day, every day, chances are you're not going to have enough time to actually make a blanket for everyone for Christmas. You might get a blanket, maybe two done. I noticed that when I was making blankets last year for myself and my husband, crochet-wise, lap blankets were taking me about 2 weeks, and that's with a job and everything. So one of two things can probably happen to get gifts made. One is make small gifts or cherry pick who you're making gifts for. So last year I made a blanket for my husband and I made little trevettes for everybody else because I didn't start until Thanksgiving. And trevettes are little like pot holder like things, except they're just decoration. They're not really meant to hold anything hot. So I used the beautiful shell stitch, which is a crochet stitch, and I just did 6 rounds of it. So basically 3 sets of shells, and it only came out to this big, and everybody got a pair of them. When I first started making them, this took about 40 minutes or so. By the time I made my very last pair, they were taking about 20 minutes a piece. So as you do the same thing over and over again for everybody, you wind up getting faster. You also wind up getting more bored with the pattern, so be careful with what you choose. But small gifts are things you can make for everybody, and you can make cute little sets of things. I have a few ideas here if you're looking for something. One is making little ornaments. This is it's actually, I think, supposed to be made in worsted weight, but I crocheted this using thread. And it's just a snowflake and it's pretty. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just an ornament, and at some point I'm going to starch it so it lays more flat. But this is one idea of something you can do. Another idea including trevettes is coasters. I don't remember, unfortunately, where I got this pattern, but this is a Jada and Stitches pattern. I absolutely adore her, and it's I believe called Sunshine Coasters, or Sunburst Coasters, something to that effect. I'll post a link in the video box down below. But these are wonderful. They're only about 5 rounds or so, and you can do these really quickly. I think they take me about 15 minutes a piece. You do 2 in various colors, and you can make pairs or quadruple sets, and a bunch of people will be happy. Now for the nerds in your life, another thought, also a Jada and Stitches pattern that I will link down below, are Pokemon coasters. Actually, these ones were not Jada and Stitches. I don't remember who this was. But anyway, these are Pokemon coasters, and they are very easy to do. I did a search for Pokeball coasters, and I found them on YouTube. I'll try to find them again and link them down below. So those are some ideas for quick gifts that you can make up within, a couple of them in an hour. So if you've only got a matter of a few hours every day, you can whip up a couple and get a pretty decent collection going for people this year. Now, in terms of planning for Christmas, for making gifts, there's a bit of a process to it that I like to do just to make sure I don't miss people. It doesn't prevent me from missing people. I always manage to leave at least one person off of my list every single year, and then I have to scramble to make them gifts. But what I do is, before I start any planning, I actually make a list. I feel like Santa. I make a list, I check it twice, then I hand it to my husband for him to check to see if I've missed anybody. And we still miss people, but you make a list of who you want to make gifts for. And then you can start planning. So what kind of yarn do I have? What patterns do I have? What kind of patterns do I like? What things do my friends and family like to receive? Because it's kind of no point in making them something if they're not going to at least somewhat appreciate it. So that's the next step, is kind of figuring out what you want to do. And based off of that, you can figure out a timetable. This shawl took me about 15 hours to crochet, I think. So is this something feasible for making a whole bunch of people? You can make individual gifts for individual people, and honestly, the earlier you start, the earlier you're able to plan. So like this year, I was planning in July. And this year's quite a funny story, actually, because I started planning in July, and I actually started making these handy dandy little snowflakes. And I've made a bunch of them. And then I got completely bored and fed up with the pattern, and so I've set it aside for several months. And now I'm down to the wire. I don't want to make any more. So what am I to do? Well, I lucked out because throughout the year I've been making things that I haven't been giving away and I haven't been using. So I was able to take my entire stash of finished products that I don't know what to do with. They're not selling on Etsy. And I decided to match them with somebody who I think would appreciate them. So like I have a cowl that I'm giving to somebody. There's a shawl, I think, in another one, a blanket that I made in another one, various gloves and dish rags, and everybody's getting something new, and it is individually made, and the gift choice is tailored to somebody. But it's basically like I've been planning for Christmas my entire year, which is wonderful because I have 2 projects to make and only a few more things that need to finish out a few sets, and then I'm done with Christmas. I've even got them packed up and ready to be given to their recipients. So unfortunately, Christmas is one of those things where being organized and being able to plan ahead helps a lot. It's not required, and I know a lot of people, I have a few friends in mind, but I'm not saying any names, but they're really good at being able to whip stuff together at the last minute. Unfortunately, that doesn't work for me because I'm a slow crocheter and I'm an even slower knitter. So I hope this was beneficial to you. I hope you're doing well with your Christmas plans so far. But it makes me wonder what you guys are planning for doing for Christmas. I'd love to hear from you. I know last year I was doing the trevets, and the year before that I did scarves for everybody. But what are you doing? So please post a comment down below because I definitely want to hear from you. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification so that every week when I upload a new video, you can be notified. So have a wonderful day. See you next week. Bye.